Hey guys, Kev here, and we're going to talk about the Xegis safe. This is a palm vein recognition gun safe. This is version 1.2, but the cool thing is palm vein recognition. That just sounded really awesome to me when they reached out to me, so I said, yes, I want to check it out. I was not sure what to expect. I figured it was a Amazon Chinese brand making some kind of weird safe, and it probably wasn't going to work well, and I may not even make a video, right? Or I would trash it if they really wanted a video. But what happened instead was I got one a couple weeks ago, and I've had it for 2 weeks. It's been on my nightstand for 2 weeks, and I've been testing it and using it as much as possible to make sure it works, and it's freaking cool. I don't know what else to say. It's a really cool safe. So it's $150 on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. If you want to use that link and get one, it helps the channel, but that is totally your call. I'm just here to give you my honest thoughts on it. They did provide the safe. I want to put that out there. But if you guys know me, that's not going to impact anything. It's just really cool, and I'll show you why. So I wanted to give you the unboxing experience. You have a cardboard box, and then you have a safe. So let me open it up. It is made in China. So for anybody who is particular about that, just wanted to make it clear for you. Here is the safe. Okay, so it will come with a set of keys and some other stuff that I put inside, and I'm going to show you. The reason why they sent me one 2 weeks ago and now I have another one is it was like 100 degrees that week that I got the first one, and I guess in the Amazon truck it was like 150 degrees, and the coating actually started to, I guess, melt and smear. I don't know if this is Cerakote or something else. I've actually had that happen with Cerakote on one of my cans. Now, shooting a suppressor and this being in a truck, probably not the same temperature, but I could see that happening to paint or whatever. So not the most durable and heat resistant finish. There was no damage to the actual safe. It was just aesthetic, but I wanted to put that out there. And they wanted to send me another one so I could kind of do an unboxing and show you guys how to set it up. And they wanted to have a good one for that. But I do want to give you that information because it did happen. They took care of it. I think they would do that for anybody, but there you go. So it does have a little USB-C charging port right here. I'll show you a little later, but you literally just plug it in. It's very straightforward. In order to get started, we are going to use the keys. So yours, I think, comes with the keys and this stuff outside of the safe. I just put it in there for dramatic effect. So in order to get started, you do want to open it and then turn the key back and remove it. Set it aside, don't put it in the safe. Hopefully, like me, you have other safes, and that's where you put keys for other safes. It's a whole maze of safes to get the keys for everything. You get screws, wood screws, and a driver if you want to mount this to, say, a dresser. You can do that. There's 4 holes under the foam. You get a little card with the keys that has the default code, and then you can put the new code if you want to. You have instructions. For those of you who would like to, we'll do pause and read real quick. Pause and read or screenshot. Whoops. Pause. Screenshot. Pause. Screenshot. And pause. Screenshot. Okay. There is an explanation in here why it is unhackable, this palm vein stuff. So that is something you might want to check out. Okay, you, I believe, get this cloth. You get a USB-A to C, which is nice, pretty long cord. And you get a metal cord so you can tether this to something, which is pretty cool. It has this little piece right here that you notch in. Okay, got it. Let's get that stuff out of the way here. All right. Now, what we're going to do is set it up, and then I'm going to show you, obviously, how awesome it works. Then I'm going to illustrate a few scenarios, maybe, of different sized firearms you would put in here, or might put in here, a couple of cans that might fit in here, and we can go down that rabbit hole. But first, let's show you how to set it up. There is a power switch right in here. So inside, down here, you just want to flick that. Now you're going to have the screen on. It's going to have the humidity and the temperature and your power. So it's fully charged right now. And then down here it's going to say standby. Apologies for the glare. My lights are messing with the screen a little bit. But it says standby down there. What you're going to do first is change your code, right? So let's do that. To do it, you're going to put in that default code that I showed you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'll hear that, and you'll hear beeping. Now you want to hold 1 till you get that sort of extra beep there. Then you're going to put your new code in. So hit enter after, put it in again, hit enter again. You'll hear that longer beep, and that means you have now set that code. So let's try the old one. Does not work. Unlock safe. Back into administrator mode, they call it. Now, to set the palm vein reading, you hold 2, okay? It'll turn the reader on. You're going to put your palm 4 to 8 inches above it. If it gives you one long beep like that after, that means it has read it. If it does 3 beeps, that means it did not work, and you want to try again. You want to have your palm 4 to 8 inches above the reader. You don't want to go too low, and you don't want to go too high. And you'll see how that kind of works in a second. So I'm going to do it again with my other palm. So unlocks, it's beeping, administrator mode, hold 2 till you hear that beep. And then single beep means it worked. Now we're going to shut the safe and test it. Put my palm over top, 4 to 8 inches, and make sure this part of my palm is centered over that square. Boom. Like a freaking charm. It's freaking awesome. I don't know what else to say. Let's just test it, see if it works with random shit. Look at that. It read my palm from there. That's interesting. Just wanted to show it's not going to just open. You do need to use your palm. Okay? I did not realize that you could put your palm farther away and it would still read it. So it must have some kind of sensor that can cover a certain area. But I mean, this thing... I don't know if I was too high. I don't know why it's... I think that beeping means it doesn't register anything. So let's try this again. It's now like off. You don't wave in front of it. Well, that was a bad example, but put my palm there. Normally it doesn't just turn on when you wave in front of it. You have to hold your hand over it for a second, and then it'll start scanning. So you got to hold and then let it scan. It takes a couple seconds. And it is open. Okay? So again, you want to be 4 to 8 inches above it. See, I was too far forward. Let me try here. Yeah, see? I mean, it's pretty hard to miss. Now, Let's put some stuff in there, right? Let's open her up. And let's put in a Smith & Wesson Bodyguard. It's a nice, small, compact pistol. You're talking, I don't know, what is this, a 3-inch barrel, maybe? I think the regular one is 2.75, so maybe with that extra little bit. But it does have a port to, whatever. You get the point. It's a small gun. So it's not a huge area in there. But let's say this was a threaded barrel gun and you wanted to put a can in there with it. The perfect can, in my opinion, for that is something like this. This is the Banish 9K. This is 3D printed titanium. They're actually relatively affordable. I think it was like $6.99 when I got it. Or $5.99, $6.99, something like that. And it actually does a pretty good job. It is, in my opinion, hearing safe with subsonic rounds, 9mm. It can do subsonic 300 blackout. I don't know how well. And, you know, it could go down like this, 380. I'm sure would be fine. I would love to see a threaded barrel for the Bodyguard. Maybe the original, not this one, because the comp doesn't make sense. But anyway, let's say you put this in here, right? If you had this, you could probably, you could have it mounted, all right? Or if you had a larger gun, like, I don't know, this Shadow Systems DR920P, this is like a Glock 34. None of these are loaded, by the way. Glock 34 size gun with a dot on it. So 5-inch plus barrel. It might even be longer than 5 inches. It's a long gun, okay? So basically from here to the end of this dust cover is a Glock 17, okay? Then you're adding another inch on. So I think a Glock 17 is 4.5, right? So this is 5.5. Let's say you have a different can, right? You don't want to have these separate in here because then you got to come out, you got to thread it on. Maybe you could get your gun out and then assess the situation. Like, hey, I heard something downstairs. I'm going to go and get my gun. Okay, I might have time to thread that on while I'm on my way downstairs. But if it's like, oh shit, somebody's like, you know, I can hear them coming up the stairs, well, then you're probably not going to grab that, right? You could have it set up like that. In the case of this gun, you kind of have to because you don't have an option. You're not going to be able to fit a can on the end of there. Unless you get like a micro can of some kind, like the JK armament thing that you could put down to like 2 baffles and maybe it would work. Whatever. Anyway, another option, something more standard size, I would say, for people, is the Huxworks Flow 9K Ti. Okay. The same thing actually happened here. I got it so hot that the Cerakote melted and smeared a little bit. Pretty disappointed considering it also was like a $700 retail can, not to mention once you pay all the bullshit, right? But that can would fit in there, right? I mean, you could probably even fit a pretty large can in here. Let's see if we can fit the, what do I have in here, actually? The Range 36 Ti. So this is another Huxworks can. This is just some kind of white shit I had on the threads. This is the big brother. Okay, so this is a 9mm. This is the 9K, I believe. They call this a K can? Or is it just the 9 Ti? I'm not sure. But this is the Range 36. So this is the big boy. This will go on, this will handle rifle rounds up to, I think, 338 Lapua, which is ridiculous. But you could squeeze that in, even. It's going to be a little longer with the Nielsen device, the piston on there, but it would fit, right? So my thoughts with a can like this is I can actually fit all 3 of them in there probably with this gun. Look at that. So I got 3 cans and a pistol. I'm just saying you could fit some stuff in here. It's just, you know, you got to play Legos a little bit. or Tetris. One option you could do is, this would probably be my most recommended option if you have a larger handgun and you want to have a can for it and you're using a safe like this size, right? Is obviously threaded barrel. Then go over to Griffin Armament and pick up their Easy Lock system. Okay, so what you're going to get is a little adapter that goes onto your threaded barrel. You just screw it on. You can keep it on there all the time. They even sell little covers for them. Actually, I'll just show you because I have them right here. I've tested a few different options before I decided that pistol cans really are not that fun for me. And I don't want to leave guns and cans all set up for pistol. So anyway, there's a few different options. So you have these. I guess I have three. I don't know why I have three. I thought I just had two. But anyway, one of those is the same as the other. But basically, you're going to have this in the can. So instead of this rifle mount, which is a Rearden Atlas mount, you would remove this and then you would put this whole thing in there, screw it in, right? So it would be sitting like this, okay? You also remove this top screw here, and then you can take out the spring. This is a spring, so this is the one that came with the Hux can. It actually came with the 9K. The larger one comes with a QD adapter. Anyway, you would take this. This is the cap for it. This is the spring, and this is the piston, okay? That all goes inside of here. I have another one all set up here. So you have the piston, the screw for that, the nut, and then you have the spring inside, and then this is the housing right here, okay? So this piece is just missing the housing. Anyway, that all goes in there and then goes in the can, okay? So you have that in your can, and then you take one of these guys, okay, and you have this on your threaded barrel. So this will go on your barrel. They sell these covers for them. So this is the Easy Lock, and you can buy this cover that actually it works as a cover, thread protector, but it also is a mini compensator or muzzle brake, whatever you want to call it. So it actually shoots some of the gases out the sides and helps with recoil a little bit, which is kind of cool because, you know, you're obviously not using it for the can at the moment. So it's kind of cool that you can have that on the cover. But you're going to have this on your threaded barrel. And then, like I said, this is all going to be inside the can. And this, let me make sure this is the right one. Yep. This would just go on that easily onto the threaded barrel then. And this has a taper mount. So there's a taper on it. That's why it's better than just a threaded barrel. It has a taper, so you just screw it down. What was that, like 2 rotations? Crank it once, you know, when you're busting down the door or whatever. And then you have your can on, right? So that would be my recommendation for a setup like this. Obviously, the best case scenario is that you have something big enough to fit your gun and the can already attached, obviously. This one is a very similar setup, but it's called the Cam Lock. I recommend the Easy Lock. Yes, it's more like thread, so it's a little slower to get on, but it stays on better. So this is another cap with the compensator thingy, right? And then you have a, is that the one we just used? Or is this the one I want? I'm not sure. That looks, let me just see. It's hard to tell sometimes what I'm looking at. Just got to find the one that has the 3. There it is. So you see the 3, like that's 1 row, 2, 3. That's where these threads go. So it's basically a mini tri-lug. So this would be on your barrel. This would be all in the suppressor. And you would just grab the can, like, okay, I'm going to mount it now. And then you put it up to your barrel. And you push in and turn at the same time. And it will lock into those lugs. And now your can is on. And the reason I said the easy lock is better, it's a lot harder to use when it's not on, obviously, on a can or anything. The reason I said the easy lock is better because people have found that the cam lock will loosen up after a certain amount of shots. So, like, if you wait, 5 to 10 shots, you usually have to just check and retighten it. That might not matter in a home defense scenario. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that you do have the option for quick detach pistol mounts. So if you had to separate your can, you could quickly get it on when you open your safe, and if you have time. So anyway, I just wanted to show that. That is the Shadow Systems. A couple other things. We have the Echelons, the 4.5-inch barrel. This is the one that came with the Crimson Trace. I'm only leaving it on there to show you guys. Once we start the build series, I'll take that off. But there you go. That's with the can in there. Here's without a can. I'm thinking about getting a threaded barrel for this. Even though it's a compensated version, it shouldn't make a difference. But that fits in there easily, right? So let's say something happens. You're probably wondering, does this work in the dark? Let's find out. I know it does, but just trying to be dramatic, you know what I mean? So I can't see it right now. So it does have that screen. So once you're kind of over it, boom, the screen lights up, gives you a better idea. So you just kind of wave, kind of put your hand around. And then once you see that come on, readjust so you're right next to that screen because the scanner's right here. And then it'll pop open. There does look to be like little lights. You see that? The gun is kind of blocking everything. But there are little lights, so you can at least see a little bit. You'd be able to be like, okay, get the gun, get the can, and you could feel your way to mounting it, right? If you were going to do that. If you had the bodyguard in there with a threaded barrel, which they need to make, and you had a can on it, boom, you just grab this, right? And you'd be good to go. But let me throw the lights back on. And I have one more thing that we could put in there to just see. Put this back. We have the Staccato HD P4. I mean, had to check that out. Even that with an SRO on top, X300 underneath, fits in here, okay? And you could set it up where it will fit in with the can. Let me just move this a little bit. There. It'll fit in with the can. Okay. Boom. You get in here and we're good to go, right? It fits a pretty large gun, is what I'm saying. Unless you have some big ass like H&K, MK23 or whatever it's called, that's like ginormous, you should be okay. You should also be able to fit, right? Like, let's say, where is... Okay. So this is not the right magazines, but also let me know in the comments if you guys want me to do a video going over all of my kind of organizational stuff for the range and for guns in general. I have a whole bunch of Savior stuff. Their quality to price ratio is perfect in my opinion. So I've just been buying their stuff. Ammo storage, gun storage, mag storage. I mean, storage for storage. Like, their stuff is amazing. So let me know. I'd love to do a video on it. And it's all on Amazon, which makes it easy for you as well. This is not the right magazine, but let's assume there's one in here. And then we should have space to fit another one, right? So we can at least fit another full magazine in here. And that's assuming we have a can. Maybe we don't, right? Now we could fit 2. Or maybe we have this little can, right? We can probably finagle it where we could fit another mag in there. So you could have potentially 2 fully loaded magazines and 1 in the gun already, giving you 3 full magazines. That should be plenty, right? If you didn't have a can, you could probably fit even more than that. You know, I haven't really spaced it, you know, perfectly or whatever. So I think it has enough space. Would it be nice if it was a little bigger? Sure. But at some point, you know, they have to kind of make a decision on the size. And maybe if this continues, or if it sells well, then they'll make more stuff. Because I would love to have a full-size safe with this system, because I hate one of my safes. It's really more of a gun cabinet with a like safe type lock on it. I say that because it's not like fire rated or anything. It was an Amazon buy. It's from Langer, I think. It was like $200 or $300. I just needed something to put longer guns in and a few more pistols as I was getting more stuff. And I didn't want to try to figure out where to put like a $5,000 safe or something. And obviously that's a lot of money. So I got that, and the fingerprint reader sucks. It's so small, and like it will just take my index finger or maybe middle finger. It won't take my thumb. I have another smaller safe that I use, and that one is from 2A for Life. I highly recommend that safe if you're looking for something affordable, you know, $100, $150 like this. And I've had that thing for 5-6 years, and it's still flawlessly fantastic. Has a nice big reader for my thumb, and I don't think I've ever pressed it and not had the thing unlock from my thumb. I've tested it with other thumbs and it doesn't work. Just saying. So there's fingerprint readers are not all created equal, right? And if I had this on that one or any other safe where I could literally just wave my freaking palm over it, I mean, it's a game changer, dude. It's just amazing, in my opinion. I just think it's really cool, you know, so I can set my wife up with this one. There's been a lot of times where I'm leaving for a trip or whatever, and I'm like, do you want me to give you the codes to the safe? Do you want me to add your fingerprints? You know, tell you where the keys are, whatever. And a lot of times, she's not going to remember all these codes and whatever. So I can just add her palm here. All she has to do is know how to do this. And she'll be able to get to protection, which I really want to make sure she has. So I think this thing is really cool. I really want to know your guys' thoughts on it. So please let me know down in the comments. Do you think it's as cool as I do? I'm a little bit of a tech nerd, so sometimes, you know, I see stuff like this and I'm like, damn, that's like fucking magic, kind of. So let me know your thoughts. Really curious on that. And again, I'll put the link down below on Amazon. I'll see if they can give me a discount code for you guys. But I'm going to wrap this up because my voice is going. And yeah, the Xegis safe. I will do a short or another video comparing it to those fingerprint readers and just show you how fast it is compared to that, and how much more reliable it is, you know. I've been testing one for a few weeks and it's been flawless. Battery's still fully charged. It actually is really nice to have the temperature and humidity right next to my bed. I love that. Let me just show you the charging. USB-C goes in here. Whoops. Just plug that in. You'll see it start to charge. So you can see how much battery there is already. And then it's charging it to completion. There's no other way to get in it other than the key, your code, and the palm. So there's no like admin code that's out there, because that's what happened on that Langer safe. I found out like a couple weeks ago, I was putting in codes and I realized this generic code worked every time. Even if I set it to fingerprint and code. It would still just be the code and it would open. And there was nowhere in the instructions for me to remove that like override code. And it took me weeks to get a hold of them. They finally gave me the instructions to get rid of that, which is nowhere in their manual. So clearly they have that so that if people get locked out of their safes and contact them, they can say, okay, put in this code and it'll open. Well, guess what? That code is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I almost shat myself because I'm like, dude, if my kid was a little older and was just dicking around trying to get in my safe, who wouldn't try that? Right. So that's ridiculous. So anyway, this safe seems a lot safer in that regard. And you can just set up these easy to enter palm vein readings. And I just think it's badass. So I want to know your thoughts if you agree or not. But I love you guys. Hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. Shout out to Xegis for reaching out to me. I appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.